Everyone, please keep your screens on at all times. We don't want to see ceiling fans. We don't want to see half your face or your forehead or you leaning back on your headboard or, laying down. You need to be sitting up just as if you were in actual court. So please keep your screens on at all times.
Picking up, food, but it's Keurig coffee makers. You're just trying to steal it. Those are expensive, because they're really good things. They make great gifts at Christmas, by the way, John.
I'll remember that.
For your family.
I'm broke.
Okay.
We'll turn on.
All right. Yeah, you have bad bandwidth, it's telling me. All right,
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. All right, you're here for payments, Miss Hughes. Apparently you haven't made a payment since July of 21, is that right?
I'm broke.
Miss Hughes, Your Honor, I did discuss this with Miss Hughes, and what Miss Hughes has told me is that she's taking care of two small children, one of which requires extensive care due to suffering from epilepsy. Miss Hughes is currently staying with Avalon Housing and has not been able to obtain gainful employment this time, primarily due to the situation with her children. She has completed a financial hardship form, which I believe she has submitted to probation.
I don't have a form.
No, I texted him last night and stated to him that I couldn't fill it out on my phone, that I have to go across the street and print it out and then fax it in.
I see. All right, I'll bring you back here on November 21st to see if you've gotten it done, okay?
Okay.
And Ms. Hughes, I think probably already knows, but she does have a bench warrant out in 14A2 for 10% where warrant recall is not eligible and it has in there she needs to turn herself in or walking. That's been
Why didn't know that?
Yeah, that's been there since June, or actually April.
Yeah, I never knew nothing about that. I only thought I had your case and the other case that I'm on probation for now.
Well, I think you better reach out to them, okay, Miss Hughes?
Okay, what was it again, ma'am?
This is case number, you have something to write with?
Yeah. I'm ready.
212 -0524.
Okay.
That is from that bench warrant issued April 19th.
Okay.
And it said they received a request to recall the warrant and it was denied. You had to turn yourself in or walk in on it.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you back here, ma'am, at your next court date.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Probation officer coming over. Sure. James Brown is called next. 23 CR 305. James Brown.
This is from the NCS.
What is?
What I showed you. We're not supposed to duplicate it.
Okay, don't do it. Don't budge any rules.
Yes, sir.
But here, I think you've obviously got a duty to tell me
Inform you, yes, sir.
when
Someone's
facts are not accurate that are issues here. You were James Ellis Brown Jr. Okay, you're charged with this theft of a firearm, state jail felony, which carries with it up to 2 years in state jail. You understand? You getting a lawyer? Why would the taxpayers pay for your mistakes? Why aren't you you're talking to somebody who had 3 jobs in school, in college. I had 3 jobs at one time. working 16 years of age, 80 cents an hour. If I can do it, anybody can. I'm not Superman. So why aren't you working?
I just had a surgery a month ago.
When did you work before that?
I was working for a trash company and also.
What, do you have money saved up?
No, sir.
You have nothing saved.
No, sir.
Well, that's kind of poor management of money. Okay, so what about this operation?
I had to surgery.
Okay, well, you can get back to that pretty easy. I know some folks who've been through that. And
Yeah. Trying to help my mom. Definitely just doing a number job and trying to get to the.
Okay.
Process.
so what about you? I hear I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. No, you got to do it.
Yeah.
The bar's up here, you got to get over the bar.
Yeah, I'm starting today.
Are you good? Well, so how much you gonna make?
Not sure yet because it's not like a hired on job. It's kind of I'm helping the family. So it's kind
Here's what I'm gonna do is, pull this criminal history up on it real quick. I think what I'm gonna do is give you about 3 weeks to work, see where your jobs are, come back and tell me, because we just don't, every court appointed lawyer costs the taxpayer. And the taxpayers always ask me, why do we have so many court appointed people when there are jobs out there? And my answer is, I don't think they're trying hard enough is the answer, but the taxpayers don't want to pay for your product. You just understand? You understand.
Judge.
I don't see anything here.
Couple of arrests, no.
Are you from Beaumont?
No, I actually stay in Kirbyville now.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Beaumont.
How long have you been in Kirbyville?
Almost a year now.
All right. What's the address there?
5.
What I have is 5015 Pine.
No, that's not my address.
That's your old address.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
532 County Road 3103.
But how long does it take you to get here?
45 to 50 minutes.
It's 96. Go down. Up 96.
Yes, sir.
I'm not talking to you. It's not to him.
Nah.
What are you doing in
You looked right at me,
Oh.
right at me, Jeff.
I'm just sorry looking for some help. Now, what's your zip code?
75932. I think it's 33. 75933. I think.
What's your final answer?
33.
You ought to know your zip code. How long have you been? You hadn't been there.
No, I haven't been there. No.
All right. What I want to do is that him?
Yes, sir.
That last one is what happened here, right? The theft of
No.
fire?
No, the last one that was conduct, it was.
Yeah, this meant, what year was that?
21.
In case it was dismissed a couple of years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Deadly conduct. Here's my problem here. Here's my problem here is deadly conduct. We know that's a fire. This is a fire. You have a family assault case you must have been arrested for, but that was refused.
Sir, I've had bad choice of people in my life, and
No, everybody makes their own choices, and I know some people can bring others in. Well, we all make bad choices, but we need to distance ourselves when we realize.
That's what I have done. That's why I'm staying in the country now.
3 weeks, get a resetting, and we'll see where you are in 3 weeks. Okay, on getting a job, and because I want you to pay for your lawyer if you can, because you look like you're able to. Okay, get a resetting. Thanks. You got to be here in three weeks. Kevin,
Yes, sir.
Tiffany Marshall.
Yes, she's ready, Your Honor.
Good. She's ready. Good. Hello. Oh, hi. Yeah. No, I said hello to you too, but I'm looking at this indictment. I've never seen so many convictions. How many theft convictions do you have? Do you know? What does it say about someone they don't even know? There are, how many convictions they have? Yes. Yes. 16. That's in courts of law, that are, courts of record. I don't know how many JP or Class C misdemeanors you have, but you got 16. I don't think I've ever seen one so long. And so here we are today with a theft. Do you understand? If you steal, like I tell the lady, a pack of gum, it's a felony from now on. Do you understand? And this is what the way the laws work. That you make so many mistakes, and you have to pay a higher price. All right, yeah. Are you retained on this?
No, yeah, we're
I'm not surprised. You're appointed. So now the taxpayers are paying your way along for your mistake. What do you think about that? Or do you? So what are you doing about it?
I'm trying,
Ma'am?
trying to fix my life.
How? What are you doing?
Since,
It's always fixable. Never too late. So
right, you're right. Since I've been out on bond and stuff.
yes, ma'am.
I've been studying constantly, looking for a job. I've been doing my meetings, my AA meetings.
Oh, okay.
My AA meetings. I've been doing my meetings.
Is it alcohol that's your problem or drugs? No.
And actually, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing. Being honest with the court is always is advisable.
By you putting me in jail that day, you saved me.
So, but when did I do that?
She was out on bond, Your Honor, and she came in for a bond docket on today, and then in Chester, she was positive we were in jail. How long were you in jail? 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was in.
Okay. What was the bond?
It was, we started out at 10 and then it got to 20.
So how'd you get out?
She was able to finally get,
I mean, you're too poor to hire a lawyer, but somebody got your bond, huh?
My mother was
Your
sick,
mom?
and she.
Your mother?
Yeah.
She's got to pay her own bills. She doesn't need to be paying for your mistakes. I'm not. I shouldn't ask a lady that. You're not much younger than me. You're not much younger than me. Don't tell everybody because they'll know my age. I'm trying to tell everybody I'm still 30 something in dog years. Yeah. But really, this is ridiculous. This is way over the top. HEB, huh?
yeah, sure.
God bless you. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty lenient with this sort of thing. I mean, if you're picking up, food, but it's Keurig coffee makers, you're just trying to steal. Those are expensive, because they're really good things. They make great gifts at Christmas, by the way, John.
I'll remember that.
For you, for your family. All right, look, what we're going to do before we reset anything, we're going to go through the round and sit over there, and then do you have another one?
No, that's the only one I have, but we like to put this on the trial.
Yeah.
We've already gone on Discover there several times, and we
All right.
want to try.
All right. John West is a very good lawyer. You probably know that, and he can handle your case. It may go to trial quicker if you agreed to release him, but we could put somebody today from the trial docket wheel, but it's your call. If he had to try everything, it would take a while, but we can get somebody off the trial docket wheel, which is quicker, but it's your choice. Nobody influences you. You have to it's your choice. It's your choice. Don't get John can't help you, or he gets in trouble with the Indigent Commission, and so do I. We can't nudge you because it's your choice. What do you want to do?
Okay.
You keep him? Well, he's a very good lawyer, and I don't think this would take.
I would like to keep this one, Your Honor. I don't know.
All right, and you will continue to be the attorney of record. All right. But just have a seat before you leave and get a resetting. Thank you. Rashad Johnson. Frank.
Yeah, he's here, Your Honor.
Good. Yeah. Rashad Johnson, please. He asked me how much a cleaner is. I told him $1.05. I think he's gonna find.
That's how they're treating me for avoiding cases now. Now he's putting me back in.
Well, if you saw our indigent defense bill, you would know that we're trying to help the taxpayers whenever we can. All right. Lynn, you are Lynn LaSalle Jr., present with your attorney, Mr. Burbank. And this is a very serious matter here. You were charged with the 3rd-degree felony assault on a family member. And you've pleaded guilty here earlier. A pre-sentence report has been prepared. Have the parties had an opportunity to review it? Any corrections or changes to it?
Not from the defense judge.
Not from the state? Then it's made a part of the record for all purposes. A couple of things I'd like you to talk to that jump out, of course, is it's correct he would not be eligible for probation in front of a jury.
That's correct.
That's correct. And I'm looking at criminal mischief convictions. He was on deferred or unadjudicated probation for that, and that was revoked, and he picked up 16 months in the state jail. Then I'm looking at in 2008 illegal possession of marijuana. He was, looks like
45 days.
He was placed on probation in 2 cases, marijuana, and it says illegal possession of controlled substance, 18 months deferred, revoked, 45 days in jail. It says it's looking at I'm looking at 2 different cases there. In 2006, date of offense 1/22/06, and the other 10/15/06. Possession of marijuana, illegal possession of a controlled substance, those were packaged together, and he was put on probation, and then it was revoked, according to what I've seen. Then driving while intoxicated. In 2013, 90 days in jail, probated for 1 year. And then thereafter, family violence in 2018, and 1 year in jail, probation for that. Then it was this, did you get your resetting? You need to come in and you can move on with your life. So now assault on a family member, but he had assault family violence earlier in 2019, along with his other stuff. And this is problematic. If y'all can answer, if you can answer to those. Thank you. Go ahead.
If it please court. Your Honor, when you took the plea month and a half ago, you talked to him at night prior to taking the plea and reference to what was going on. When he got out of the state jail the last time, he actually moved and is living in Houston to try to get away from the problem.
What's that address?
4801 Allendale Road, Houston, Texas. Also, if I may, Judge, I'm sorry.
What's his in?
77017.
Go ahead.
Also, when he went over to Houston, he also acquired his daughter, which is probably the really problem to stop. The mother and him at best, depends on what day it is, depends on who says what, but it gets kind of, I guess, combative. And this time at the convenience store, which was the basis of this back in June of 21, there was some argument in reference to his daughter and who mom was bringing the daughter around. But the solution to that was not to start a physical altercation. Though he would readily admit to you that he does, and she can push his button, and also kind of gets to him when he really shouldn't. I think that you talked to him about that a little bit when you took the plea, because as you said to him was that the child basically is the only one that is in the middle of this, and is the, I guess, the recipient of this isn't good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is a good,
This isn't good.
is not,
No, it's not good for a child to be in the middle of two parents that can't get along. He has asked and was upfront with the probation officer when he did the PSI that he does need anger management, would take the therapy because he needs to try to keep it under control. The one thing I have heard, though his past is the telltale sign, is that he does have a job now. He has been providing for his daughter, which is young. He also is providing for his older child with a job. As I said, he has removed himself from this area, trying not to be tempted or get in trouble again. Mom has reached out to my office, though I've had limited conversations with her. I think the court or the district attorney would agree she was probably not cooperative because they had to go and chase her down to subpoena her that day. And there again, she was saying one thing to Mr. LaSalle and doing something completely opposite.
I don't understand.
She said she kept on telling him that she wasn't going to come to court, that they were working it out, and that everything was okay at the time that this came to trial.
All right. Nothing new
Nothing
in family assaults.
That's right.
Nothing new. But generally, it's not a product of people just like to get beaten up or choked or whatever it was in this case here. It's not that they enjoy that. That's why they call for help and then drop charges. That's not what it is. It's generally the fact that they don't feel comfortable with the way it takes so long to resolve issues. And that's just a product of, there's too many of those kinds of cases that are just working their way through the system. But I don't believe it's because they're masochistic, I think, and they're stuck with situations with family. It's a family unit that's being broken apart, which is just naturally a undesirable thing for most people, no matter how much hell they have to go through in the situation. But
And
here is this isn't yeah, I mean, once again, when you put your hands around somebody's throat and squeeze, there's only one thing that's intended to do: kill. To kill someone. That's what you're doing it for. There was no other reason to grab somebody with your hands around the neck and to squeeze, like is it occurred in this case, according to the probable cause affidavit. I can't imagine doing that to anybody. I've never done that in my life to anybody, but I can't imagine somebody I quote loved and had children with, pledged life with. So quite naturally, you want to squeeze their neck. But hey, you admit it. You've got anger issues. It's clear in here. You've got anger issues. That's what you said, unless you lied to the probation office.
And Your Honor, even with this and him pleading, he still has custody of his daughter. He is still being the primary caregiver. And I don't know what his relationship, if any, with the mom. I think he's been staying away. Oh, well, because the court has ordered him to in reference to seeing the young girl. So we asked Judge that you place him on probation. I believe it's a 3rd degree.
Yeah.
Probation could be for up to 10 years, as the court does. So deferred would not, it could be 10 over 10, or.
Can you explain, though? He received probation in 2019 for family violence, and this isn't his first rodeo in this regard.
Absolutely. And that's
He
why.
didn't learn much, apparently.
Well, and that's why, Judge, I told you that the chemistry between mother and father has come to this predicament. And that's the reason why he left and went to Houston to get away from it.
Well, I guess that's why somebody invented divorce court. But there's a way of handling that, if you can't work your problems out, there is a way of handling it in a method that's not strangulation.
They weren't married, Judge, and no one ever brought up the custody matter in court to try to get some orders or to try to get some relief.
You got a child, right? Together.
No.
You're out of here. You just disturbed this court and interrupted me by shouting something out. You can leave. You're outside. I can put you in jail for 180 days for that outburst. You can't control your emotions any better than that. I'm sorry, but you can't be interrupting the court with outbursts. Are they part of this? You don't even know them?
I think that was just
Was that a medical issue?
I don't know what that was, but
Just find out if that's a medical issue that we need to attend to, because you just can't blurt things out like that. Incoherently. I didn't understand. It was a loud noise. Go ahead. Where were you? Go ahead. Anyway, the point I was making about this, the children. The children see them. You don't think they're harmed forever?
And that's the whole problem, Judge, is that it's this child that was put in the middle of something that she shouldn't have put in the middle of. And if you have any questions in Mr. LaSalle, Judge.
No, I think the pre-sentence report is well written. What does state say?
problem we got with all this argument is the criminal mischief he was on probation for 2014 involved yet another woman. Well, he smashed up her car, yeah.
It's just not being.
And the way he treated the mother of his child this time by dragging her around by the hair, strangling her in the car, hitting her, pushing her around, doing everything out there in a public place. I don't think he needs to be out and around in the public. He needs to be locked up because he's been given chance after chance, and he seems to mess up on his probations since back in 2008 when he had probation, 2015 when he got probation. He's been revoked. He just doesn't get the rules, and evidently he knows he has an anger problem but doesn't do anything about it. And I just don't see anything really worth giving him probation out of the way he treats people and the way his criminal history is. So we'd ask for the 5 years.
Your Honor, that whole incident involved the child. And the environment the child was in at the time or was visiting with. And yes, he handled it the wrong way. He admitted to the court. And yes, he's had problems with people before. But that's where he admits that, he needs to correct it. I think he's taken the first step in trying to get that corrected by getting out of the environment and keeping a job and providing for his child, which wasn't taken away from him based on this offense, by them gone to court, as you alluded to, divorce court.
And my life has changed. I have to control my
For the
temper.
better or for the worse?
For the better. I have to control my temper around her because she's with me 24/7. I don't really do nothing. All I do is go to work and go home.
Squeezing somebody's neck
I mean,
and choking someone. You can speak here and say, choking someone as many times as you have been through the system where you make a mistake, you're in front of someone and you've lost your control of your own life. Someone else, a stranger like me, ends up doing it. But here, how many times does it take for your anger issues to be dealt with responsibly? You haven't. But I'm not going to say, okay, thank you for telling me I'm really going to follow the rules this time. That's not, it's your actions that speak. But we're going to fashion a sentence that I believe is fair under the circumstances. But you've had, the system is built each as a progressive sanction. Let me speak. Progressive. You commit another crime after you committed them before and been punished, the punishments are higher. It steps up. And that's the theory of law. It doesn't, the more crimes you commit, the less serious are the punishments. That's not the way it works. Because and when it's repeated, the same type of behavior is repeated, it gradually gets higher. Or sometimes it takes a big leap up, depending upon the type of crime. Yeah. Look, it's not all this hard. You're talking about people with children. All three of these, I know these people. And they don't get in trouble. But I know the way they do things is before they make a choice, they can look, it's not hard for them to look into their children's eyes and go, whatever I'm doing, if I'm going to make a stupid decision, it's going to hurt them worse than me. And I don't want to hurt my children. But that's the result of what happens when you're not thinking. And you've been through this before to have gone through the thought process of next time this happens, I've got to put my children first. You're number 3 in all of this. Like we all are. Our creator is 1, our family is 2, then we're 3. But you've all vaulted way above that. you keep putting yourself number one in your choices. And then here you are. But you're going to pay for this somehow, and it's going to be a fair disposition. But I'm sorry for your children. That's who I'm charged for. But I'm also sorry for the person whose neck you grabbed and squeezed. My goodness. Which again, the only reason you do that is with an intent to hurt, kill somebody, because that strangles somebody. There's no other reason to do that. Anyway, we get a reset in 2 weeks. Tierra Norman.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Bandy, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of burglary of a habitation force? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to $10,000 fine and up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Bandy, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 684012. There's to be restitution, if any, to Angel Gonzalez with a Z. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with Angel Gonzalez. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection.
You may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asking for the part.
All right, so why are you breaking into someone's home?
It was a misunderstanding, really. I lived there and I was watching the house at the time, and the owner was in rehab, and I had locked myself out of the house. And so I went through a window. I didn't break anything, and I told the owner about it, and it's just
Why was the owner's clothes spread out all over the place?
his clothes.
Yes.
I don't know.
Why were cabinets open throughout the house?
I don't know. I didn't do any of that.
So either you're a bad watcher of homes or either you did that. He's saying that he never gave you permission to be in his home.
He
And
did.
that you're
I
homeless.
lived there. I had mail going there, and I lived with him at the residence. And when I decided to move out, and he had got mad, I guess. I don't know, but it's a mess. Like, so I lived at that address.
Defense?
We have discussed the defense judge. She understands that by taking this case, she's giving up her right to a trial and her very, what we believe is a valid defense. But she understands that she's giving up her rights and has pled no contest and wishes the court to proceed with the case.
All right. So you do not wish to go to trial?
No, ma'am.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Do you have any children?
I have a son.
Age?
2.
And where is your son?
He's with family.
And where was he doing all of this?
Where was he at?
Yeah.
With my family.
All right. Is there a child protective services case?
No, ma'am.
Why do you not have your 2-year-old?
It's just I didn't have a stable place to live. So
How far did you go in school?
some college.
When's the last time you had employment?
About right before I got locked up, which I've been incarcerated for 4 months.
And what were you doing? for
I
employment?
was doing traffic control.
I'm sorry, what?
Traffic control.
What do you mean traffic control?
Like how you know how they shut down the highways with the cones and yeah.
So you're the person who places the cones down? Drug use?
No, ma'am.
Here's the thing. I'm putting you on probation. I'm going to write it down that you told me you have no drug use. If you end up testing positive, we're going to have issues.
Okay.
So any drug use?
No, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. 4 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early, counsel, she can always come back. $1,500 fine, that would be probated. Take in consideration County Court 9, cause number 684012. And that's 684012. Is that the same complainant?
No, it's Walmart, Judge.
All right. So why are you stealing from Walmart allegedly? Was there a confusion there?
No, I didn't have the money to get to pay for it. So.
But you have employment. So why wouldn't you have money to pay for it?
I didn't that day.
Didn't have employment that day?
No money. I didn't have money that day.
So take in consideration 684012, cats 1 and 2. Regular random UAs. They're going to do random UAs. If you're using, they're going to catch you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, then I will deem her community service hours satisfied. There's to be no unsupervised contact with any minors. There's to be no contact with Angel Gonzalez. You're going to get employment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And we'll do a TAP evaluation that can be done out of custody and follow all TAP recommendations.
can the court make a notation regarding the payment of supervisory fees? If she were to apply for early termination, she doesn't have to have all the supervisory fees paid for the full 4 years.
No, but what I can tell you is whether there's supervisory fees still pending in this court, whether there are court fees still pending in this court, when somebody asks for early termination, they send it to me.
Okay.
And I review it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Amen.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do in your life, any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If it